That's what
Starting now, a $75 billion sex economy and the female founders finding the solicitors.
Hi guys, I'm Abigail Bassett. I am with 8 Custom Studios, and I am really excited that on today, which happens to be International Women's Day, we get to talk to this fantastic couple of women who are doing something really interesting. So, first of all, you probably all know someone who has fallen prey to an online scam of some kind, right? Whether it's someone pretending to be someone they're not, or using AI to sort of spoof and try to get the data, right? Apparently, that's incredibly rampant, particularly on dating sites. And since there's 349 million users on these dating sites, nearly 1 in 10 profiles are actually fake. So what's really great is these two women have come together to create something that will cut down on that considerably. So we're going to talk a little bit more about fuzzy. And with me today, I have KALIE. She's the founder and CEO of Fuzzy. And then I've got JAQI SALEEM, who's the founder and CEO of Qualified Digital. So please give them a warm welcome. And KALIE, I want to start with you. Let's talk about what is Fuzzy and how did this whole idea start?
Sure. Well, first off, I want to say that I'm a native Texan. Howdy, y'all. And I'm really excited to be here. Great to be with you, Abby. Thank you, Ink Founders House, for having us. It's kind of a surreal moment for me. I never thought that I would be on a stage like this, but I'm so excited. And the thing about Fuzzy, the app that I built, is that the genesis of it is from my own experience. And I wanted to find love, and so I got on the dating apps in my mid-30s. And unfortunately, I fell victim to deception. And I was lied to on basically every single fact that a person can be lied to. Name, education, profession, you name it, he lied about it. And it was devastating, it was heartbreaking. But instead of just deciding not to get out of bed every day, I finished that red glass of wine, and I decided I was going to do something about it because it's just not okay. Thank you. So this happened to me, and I started to do some research. I was like, surely maybe I just don't know that this technology is out there. I started looking around, and I realized really quickly there was no quick, affordable way to validate somebody online. And I got to work, and I turned my heartbreak into action, and Fuzzy, the app was born, the idea, and I realized really quickly in order to bring this amazing idea to life, I needed to find an incredible partner, not only from a technology perspective, but also from an advisory perspective. And JAQI SALEEM with Qualified Digital was my #1 choice.
So JAQI, tell me a little bit about, there's a lot of stigma around looking people up. Like if you're on the dating apps and you're not like Googling these people, you're putting yourself at risk, right? But there's still a lot of stigma around, digging around on Google or whatever you choose to use to be able to find out information. So, why is that? Why does that persist? And what makes Fuzzy different from sort of that like very doom and gloom kind of like you're stalking someone online?
Great question. One of the first things that I did was approach to work on the app is we don't want to be the only dating. We want to make sure that what we're doing is optimistic and about finding love, not about nuisances. And so I think a lot of it goes back to when we were analog and people would hire like a private investigator or something to go, see if someone was cheating. And as we evolve to the digital age, it's become more accessible, right? And we even use language like, oh, I went online and stalked him. And we're joking, but it brings something like a stigma to the table. And really, when you look at the statistics, and I will give you all of them today, but they're horrifying. People absolutely should be doing research online for people that they haven't met before, especially when they're going to be especially when they're going to be putting their heart out there. So, one of the things that we really thought was important is a lot of like background check software. It gives you kind of this white piece of paper, it gives like address, phone number, and all these things that people should actually have access to. And what we did is we actually modeled it off the look of a dating profile, except for that the information is populated from valid data sources as opposed to giving the control to the people who are creating the profiles. So you can't really like be a fake. We're going to pull that information in and we're going to give the information that's relevant to the people who are searching.
And Kaylee, just walk me through how the app works. Like once this launches, what does it look like? How does this work? If I'm on the dating apps, like, and I go to a date, like, how do I verify if the person I'm meeting is actually who they say they are?
Yeah, so this is going to be a joint question because I'm not the very tech savvy guru here, it's JAQI, but what I am is I'm the end user, and I want an incredible experience. And what I mean by that is I want this app to be easy to use. I want very low input for maximum output. If I'm on a dating app, which I am going to be on my couch, with a glass of red wine, my kids in bed, I'm scrolling through, I'm generally doing a lot of swiping left, and I want Fuzzy to be something that pulls these results into an aggregation in less than 5 seconds, and I want the results to be accurate. I need something that I can rely on to make decisions based off of what's safest for myself. From a technology perspective, I'll give that one to JAQI because her team is actually the one that created it.
Thank you, Kaylee. When we first went to creating the technology, we thought about what do you have at the beginning of dating somebody, right? So we just said name, age, and location. And so we built the entire product around taking those small bits of information along with using facial recognition, because we do this with photos. And we've taken it and we've gone through a lot of different data sources that exist, but they're not wholly around this idea. So there's HR software, there's background check by people, there's a background check for something else, there's information on Google. You can find if someone's using your likeness or someone's likeness on different social media profiles. So we basically built a tool to say, we're going to take this information, we're going to do the hard work, and bring back the information to the end user so that they can catch some of those things that we talked about in the beginning. Lie about professionals, lie about degrees, lie in every single possible way, and bring it to the end user.
Oh, and by the way, our secret sauce is patent pending. It's called ADD, Automated Deception Discovery, and essentially what it's doing is it's looking at what someone's claiming to be true, whether that be the facts in their profile or the way that their images are displayed, etc., and then it's putting our algorithm against it to see if there's any inconsistencies in the truth. And if there are, with Fuzzy, and this is what makes us truly remarkable, we're really about transparency. We're going to give you the data to go say, hey, this is where we're seeing an inconsistency. Now you have the information to go do your own level of due diligence to put yourself in a safer position.
And what other applications might this have, right? Because I can see opportunities for other businesses outside of just dating, right? Where something like Fuzzy would be really valuable just because we have seen such a huge uptick in things like online scams and pig butchering scams and all kinds of online AI usage that's really sort of hiding the ball, if you will.
Absolutely. So when we talk about pig butchering alone, we're looking at a $75 billion loss in financial scams that have happened over the last 4 years. That is truly staggering. But when we look at things from outside of the dating apps, because I'm sure there's somebody sitting in here thinking, well, I would never use Fuzzy. I'm happily married, or I'm not on the apps. good for you. And I would then say, actually, fuzzies can be used for a lot of everyday circumstances. And what I mean that is, I'm a single mom. I'm constantly in need of new babysitters and people to come over and help me build IKEA furniture or whatever that looks like. And it's funny because over the holidays, and this is the most Midwest story you'll hear today, but my neighbor came over with banana nut bread that she had cooked me. And she found out that I, was coming up with this app, and she's like, oh, but I'll never use it. I need to get back. I have a new housekeeper. And I kind of thought, I'm going to keep this woman at my house for a couple more minutes. And I could see she was getting antsy to get home because she had something new in her house. And so finally she hands me the bread. She can't wait to get out of my doorstep. And I said, hey, Barbara, remember how you told me earlier you have something new in your home, but you would never use fuzzy? And she said, yes. And I said, could have fuzzied her before she came over, and we could be sitting on my couch right now. And it was as though a light bulb went off in this woman's head to think, wow, we could be using this for any online connection that we have. And then just doing a quick due diligence to make sure that you're in a safer position, which is so important.
And one of the technologies that you guys are employing is actually AI, check AI. And Jackie, tell me how that works. I mean, it sounds very self-reflexive. It sounds a little bit snake eating its own tail. But how does that work? And how does that make users safer when they use fuzzy?
Yeah, you're much better at speaking than
Thank you.
One of the things that we should actually bring up a lot is AI potentially not a problem? And it is, but I think it's much more of a solution than it is a problem. Even in the videos and images we AI, also see really fun images or videos created by AI. And what we're doing is not only using AI vision recognition, being able to tell us how to age, what they say they are, but we're also doing things like sentiment analysis. So there are accounts of someone who has narcissistic behavior, right? We basically trained it to say, listen, put your text thread early this, and we'll let you know if the conversation that you're having is somebody who is really more narcissistic or not. In many other applications, but really just being able to help you access
And fun fact, the number one thing a narcissist tends to say in a dating app is your mind. So if you're getting that particular message, run away.
Also, if you saw some of selfies that was very impressive.
Well, wait, I'm going to follow up on that because is there sort of an algorithmic relationship between the number of selfies and certain, when combined with the text analysis that you guys are doing, that you can pull out and say, oh, hey, this is a high incidence of narcissistic behavior or other sort of non-appealing behaviors that would be, say, controlling or, potentially dangerous for anybody on the app.
Absolutely, and really, it's going to look also and see, are you also posting selfies back, or is that person just, going right at you? But generally, they're not going to ask you a lot of questions about you, they're going to tell you a lot about them. And they're going to try to adapt to everything that you like versus actually having a real tool about who they are. There's definitely a lot of different traits, but yes, taking pictures of yourself every morning and sending it to a sexy face is
definitely a marker.
one of them.
Okay. So when you combine it and you run it through some of the algorithms and stuff that you guys put together, you were able to detect that and just say to the user, be like, hey, just FYI, no judgment, but just so you know, right?
Yeah, 8 out of 10.
Right. Awesome. Possibility of a narcissist is very high. Sorry,
I was just going to say, on the flip side of that, right? You're getting this guy that's sending all the selfies, but how do I protect my own online likeness, which is so important because right now, as technology only continues to get more complex and grow, we don't necessarily have a way to easily have autonomy or management over our online meta selves. And so once you verify yourself through Fuzzy and you become part of our amazing community that we're trying to build, we can then say, hey, JAQI, we already have your facial recognition, and we have detected your picture in this profile. And before that, there's a very high likelihood that JAQI did not know that. Now she can go and control that and have that information in hand.
So it's really interesting that you bring that up because it's actually happened to me where somebody scraped my profile and remade another profile so much of times or taken when I was on Twitter before it got what it is now. Sorry. Truth, but before it was
It's not Twitter anymore.
it's not Twitter anymore. It's not what it was. And I have had a few times where people had stolen, stolen my Twitter profile stuff, verified these things. And I'm curious, you looked at this space and you sort of saw why hasn't there been something like this before, given how constantly online and connected we all are?
That is an excellent question, because I seriously, when I say that I was baffled not to find something, I thought for sure I had this idea and I would stumble upon the technology already existed, and then it was like, wah wah, my one idea that I've come up with, there's already tech out there. And I just could not believe that that did not exist. And, the norm today, when we're trying to vet somebody online, what is the first place that we do? We go to Google. And we start looking at every article we can. We try to find all of the various social profiles that this individual might have. And from there, we do our own, okay, well, I think this is who this person is. And that's really all we have today. And I thought that is just not acceptable, especially because we live in a digital-only world. We need to be digitally safe. And that's really how Fuzzy's trying to be a revolutionary here in the online economy deception space.
I would also just add, it's really hard. I mean, it's a lot of work and it's super complicated to be able to collate all this data and make sure that it is actually the same person that you're working with. And so I answer that people probably try. We've seen a few things out there where they have, but we've just been able to really tie together systems, QA, and ensure that all this data can come together and give that real-time profile.
And just out of curiosity, is that sort of at the nexus of where we are right now in terms of the advancement of technology, the adoption of AI, the sort of comfort that most people have with it? Has the technology just gotten that good at this point that's sort of enabled this to be possible?
I mean, you go. No, I mean, I think that it's really the value is taking the technologies that exist out there and data sources that exist out there that are disparate and not built for this and pulling them together. And with AI, obviously, there's a lot more that we can do now that we weren't able to do previously.
And, how do you determine sort of what's valuable to a fuzzy user versus like what's not? Because there is so much data on the internet, right? Like if you just put somebody's name or name, age, and location into a search engine, it's likely to throw up a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we looked at that in two parts. One was, first of all, there's a lot of information that we can get back that makes someone unsafe. So we weren't going to post that up there. But also, lucky for us, but we had kind of a patient zero story.
We call him the Wuhan bat, so that's what we're referring to him as moving forward.
I feel like there's a story there.
I've never used that, but we actually had that. And really, our goal is to put this out there and have somebody else information about this happening event, so we can build more safeguards. But it is really important to us to not make it easier to make people target. So things like address and phone number is something we've stayed away from, even though it's really accessible.
And I was going to say, how did you, from your experience with the Wuhan bat, if you don't mind me using,
Don't mind at all.
how did you determine specifically, like, this is valuable, this would have been valuable to me in my own experience versus, like, this is sort of, not relevant to what I need to know?
Sure. So for me, it was really embarrassing and I was ashamed. I had brought this man to meet my family. I paraded him around the 4th of July barbecue we had, and I introduced him to my beautiful 6-year-old, and I met this man's kids. I mean, I literally felt that I was falling in love with somebody that I really was looking for. He checked all my boxes, and it was actually, I was on a flight back from my old job, and I got to thinking, well, what would it have taken for me to have never gone on that first date so that he could get me into his little web, you know? And it was marriage license. And then I got to think, well, marriage license is publicly accessible information. It's just really hard to find. There's 3,500 counties in the United States alone. So how does one go to every county just to check for a marriage license? And then I realized, well, technology is advanced so far. I'm sure we could get there. And JAQI and I have actually discovered that the transparency when it comes to public records, particularly around criminal records, it is not good enough. There's a lot of state legislation that just backs up the ability to accessing both federal and misdemeanors. And JAQI and I are honestly really looking at this from a legislative perspective, like how do we make this data more easy to get? Because you deserve to know if somebody's an armed robber. You deserve to know if there was domestic violence there. And we are literally creating an application where we're trying to change the way that we accept what's okay when it comes to criminal record data.
Go ahead. I was going to say, you know, when what happened to you happened to you, you went to a Facebook page to discover all this, right?
I did, yes.
And instead of having to go to a Facebook page, now this is all going to be kind of in the palm of your hand, right?
Yeah, the Facebook page is really great to catch somebody after, but it's not proactive. And that was one of the big things we were thinking about when we were doing this. And another thing is, we actually believe very strongly that there are more good actors than there are bad actors. So we were thinking a lot about how do we actually have someone get verified themselves. There's a lot of technology out there where you can use an ID. Use your own face to say that you are the real Slim Shady, right? And then what we did is we got that back from the same technology that you could use for banking software. And then we get a positive that the person is who they are. And if you move, by the way, it moves it. And it will give you information back on that. But it allows people to say, you know what, I feel comfortable making someone else feel comfortable with me, so I'm going to verify myself. And behind that is a real-time QR code. And what we mean by that is every 90 seconds it changes, so nobody can take a screenshot of their QR code and somebody can go out and view them. Only the person that is in the app can have it, and it will change every 90 seconds.
So it's kind of like an authenticator for who you are, essentially.
Yeah, and as Kalie was talking about all these different use cases, if someone's coming in to, fix your sink, you can ask them just to show their own verified profile.
Right.
And when you think about it from a B2B perspective, the opportunities are endless. My dad, he actually went from corporate America and became an entrepreneur, so that's kind of what I saw growing up. And he ran a painting and construction business where he had a ton of 1099 employees that he didn't necessarily have the time or money to do full background checks. But it would have been really nice had he had some quick, affordable tool to verify an individual. And I just want to say one thing and piggyback off of what JAQI said, because it's incredibly important for me to convey. There are a lot of good humans out there, and we are trying to let them find each other and connect in a very safe way. The word fuzzy literally came because if something's fuzzy, it needs more clarity. And with more clarity, that something can be beautiful. And you can meet and you can have love and you can make a new roommate or have a connection. But with more information, it actually can be dark and scary. And we want to make sure that you have that information as well. So fuzzy really stems from the fact that we do believe in people. It's just unfortunate that there are bad actors out there. Let's stay away from them. Let's build a safe community.
Guess what? They're not verifying themselves.
I would imagine no criminal's going to be like, oh, guess what? I'm going to verify myself and say that I'm actually this person.
The biggest thing moving forward that I'm telling girls in the apps is if you say, hey, can you fuzzy verify? And if their answer is no, that is a red flag. That is the new red flag, right? Because they are hiding something. The good dudes, they're going to go and be proactive here and say, hey, I have nothing to hide. You know, I'm a handyman. I want everybody to feel comfortable with me coming into your home. I'm a new babysitter, etc. No matter what that looks like. So why don't we all do this verification system and build this community out, and it will become very clear, very fast, why someone doesn't want to be involved in this community.
Well, and you know, it's not just for women either, right? Because you know, there are any people that that are on dating apps that need to verify for safety, that you know would really like to fall in love
We're committing frauds out there too.
Exactly. It's like, you know, everybody, we're all human. And, you know, we all want to be part of this community that is actually like verified and saying who we are and actually like being real human beings instead of sort of trying to be shady and slide under, you know, everybody's radar.
Exactly, and that's why Fuzzy is super inclusive, right? We understand that everybody can be frauded, and Fuzzy is to keep everybody safe, including LGBTQ and communities where maybe they're a little bit more subject to being taken advantage of. We want to make sure that they have the tool that they need, and in that regard, no matter how or where somebody is on their economic stature, you deserve to be safe. And what I mean by that is we're coming out with the freemium version because no matter how much money you have, you deserve to be in a safe position, and we want to make sure that we can provide safety to everybody.
Well, and that's incredibly valuable in terms of the dating world, but the business world as well. You know, companies like your father's company, being able to verify people without having to go through the expensive and time-consuming digging through public records and all this stuff, hiring someone to do all that can be really, really valuable. Well, I want to thank both of you for joining me in this panel in partnership with Fuzzy. And I know that you had one other thing you wanted to say.
I do. And this
And qualified digital.
And qualified digital.
Yes, and to that vein, I just want to say, if anybody is out here thinking, wow, I could never do that, or this is it for me, I'm really nervous. You were me 18 months ago. The fact that I'm sitting up here right now is a testament to the fact that if you believe in yourself and you have a lot of passion behind what you believe you want to get out there in the world, do it. Nike literally has a saying, let's do it. And to that regard, none of this. Me sitting up here included could have happened without this girl right here. She has believed in me, she's believed in what Fuzzy can do for everybody in terms of safety and just creating a better online, safer world. And I knew Qualified Digital was the right partner. I've seen the output and delivery that they've done before. It's truly A+ work. My team is amazing. I thank everybody that I work with on the Fuzzy team. I'm just so grateful. So thank you so much for having me.
Was there one other thing about the app?
We are also doing an exclusive invite to anybody who goes to the QR code that you guys are going to see around here. We have an exclusive data out, so if anybody gives their email, we're going to send an invite to that data.
Yeah, so if you go to fuzzyverify.com, you can put in your contact information, and from there you will have access to a VIP private invite to the beta version. The real version should be out this month, and we're very excited about it.
Thank you guys.
Heard something you like? Join the conversation on social media using hashtag